Hey babes, it's Doll, and I'm here to show you how to do my makeup. Now first we're going to start off with a Pond's Dry Skin Moisturizer. Keep the skin nice and moisturized, and I feel like it kind of protects your skin from the makeup that is about to, be invading its space. Yeah, that didn't make sense. But yeah, moisturized. Now we're going to do primer because it's really good once you, it smooths out your face and it just makes your foundation look a lot better and last a lot longer. I used to think it was useless, but I love it. I use the Wet n Wild primer. It's like $5, but it's a small bottle, so I like to preserve it because like $5 for a small bottle, we're not rich out here. Now, moving on, we're just going to really make sure that we work it into the skin, especially on the places that you're going to crease. I crease a lot in my under eyes and around my smile lines, so you see me really working it in there. And yeah, just get yourself set up for success. Now, I'm not going to go straight into my foundation after putting my primer. I like to let the primer work a little bit, so I'm going to start with my eyebrows. First, I'm just brushing them out with a spoolie, getting them nice and orderly. And then I'm using the Jordana retractable pencil to just kind of fill them in, give them shape, revive them. Now we're doing foundation. I'm using my foundation brush. I'm not going to do a beauty blender because in my experience, beauty blenders sponge off my foundation and it makes it really patchy, and I don't think I'm using it wrong. It just doesn't work for me. That's just my experience. But I like to use a foundation brush and just kind of paint it across my face. I don't like to smear it on because I'm going for really light coverage. I don't really have too much to cover up. I just feel like foundation evens out my skin tone a little bit. So I just kind of like to spread it across, if that makes sense. Try to use as little product as possible, and definitely get in the crevices, like in the eyebrows, on the eyelids, especially if you're not wearing eyeshadow. On places where I need a little more coverage, I'll dab instead of painting it across. And I feel like that works a little better. Definitely get around the mouth too. Now we're going to do concealer. I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Cool Tan. I'm just going to paint triangles under my eyes. Not long, going downward. I like them to be wider, going toward my cheekbones. I feel like that shape just kind of suits my face shape better. I have a very round face. I also put a little bit on my forehead, and I am kind of heavy-handed with concealer, but it works for me, so it just makes it a little more difficult to blend because excess product gets on the beauty blender, but I have ways around that, which you'll see. So I'm just going to get it really well blended, really get all up in them under eyes, in the corner of the eyes. Sorry, I have a cold. Alrighty. So we're blending, we're getting fleeked, and it doesn't look like it's blending well, from the video. I'm taking some of the excess product and putting it on my nose, but you'll see. Watch and learn, because I use my fingers to kind of blend out the harsh lines and make it a little, smoother. Alrighty, roo-la-dee-da-dee-da, getting it fleeky. I'm just blending out the edges, if that makes sense. Much like Azalea's edges were snatched by Sky Jackson. Moving on, I'm using my foundation brush, which still has a little bit of leftover foundation on it, and just softening up the concealer a little bit. And now I'm going to set it with my black radiance powder and a big old fluffy brush, of course going for the under eyes first, because the quicker you set, the less likely you are to crease, as I have learned. Damn it, this cold. Alrighty, so now I'm about to do my blush, and I'm using an angled brush because I like to be really precise with my application, and I do build it a lot just because this product can be really faint, especially because I have darker skin, so it doesn't show up quite as easily, but I just like it to add a little warmth to the cheeks, Now it's time for my favorite part, the lashes. I feel like lashes just do so much for your face, and they give me that doll-like appearance that I really like to go for. So yeah, first I'm just cleaning up any leftover lash glue because yes, I reuse my lashes. they are $5 a pair. I will not be throwing away $5 a pair. I don't know who you think I am or what you think this is, but no. Anyway, now I'm putting on the lash glue, being very precise. Look at the focus. The intensity. So intense. And she sticks the landing. I tried to make this voiceover kind of interesting, and yeah, I hope it's working. Now I'm just gonna shake it out, let it dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna put it on my eye. But first you gotta let it get tacky, and you can kind of tell by looking at it, there's not like a definite time frame you're going for. I say 10 to 15 seconds, and then I just get in there with my fingers, no tweezers, and I just feel like that gives you a lot more control over the lash and where it's going. Now I'm just putting on some shea butter just to keep my lips moisturized. And now, the lip gloss. I like my lips really glossy. I'm not really into that whole matte lip trend. No. I like them nice and glossy. Alright, I noticed right here that my lash was kind of coming up in the inner corner, and this is a little trick that I learned. If your lash is just coming up a little bit, I put some lash glue on like a slim object, like in this case a hair clip, or sometimes like on the back of my tweezers. Just rub a little bit on the lash band from the inside and stick it back on there. That's all I have for today, and I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. Hasta la pasta!